Scott. Ask Scott.
Hi, Scott. My name is Ozzy. Thank you so much for doing all this. I love listening to your podcasts. So I'm a professional seller on Amazon, not FBA, and I've listed a bunch of products before I discovered your podcast. So I'm only recently starting to learn how to advertise and increase sales. I know you talk about how to go from the first product, get 20 sales, then list another product and do an Amazon pay-per-click campaign for each. But how do you go about making a campaign when you already have listed 100 to 300 products on Amazon? Would you advise to make separate campaigns for best sellers only, or group products that have similar features together and make a separate campaign for those? Would love to hear your response. Thanks so much.
Hey, Ozzy, thank you so much for the question. This is a question that I have gotten before, and I definitely want to address this. Number one, if you have, I get a lot of people that will say, Scott, I've been selling wholesale for a long time and I have thousands of SKUs. Like, how do I manage pay-per-click on that? And that's going to be a challenge. My first advice that I ever give in this situation is find those top 5 or 10 products that are selling decently. And then if you want to ramp up those, that's where I would start. Now, you may have a product that you think would do well if it could just get seen more. That might be another product to sell. But you do want to break these down, and it's going to be a little bit of a pain for you or anyone else that has a lot of products, because there's really no easy way to manage all of these different campaigns that you have. A good buddy of mine, Dom Sugar, would let you know that this can be very, very time consuming. And I know Dom listens to the show, so Dom is shaking his head right now, because you can spend hours monitoring all of that stuff, because if you have that many SKUs, you have to keep an eye on those things, because if you don't set strict budgets and you don't have an idea of what's happening on a daily basis, you can lose a lot of money very, very quickly. And you don't want to just throw money at different listings and hope that it works. You want to be able to focus on looking at the data over time. So I would say you want to pick a handful. And then from there, start drilling down into those, because it's not going to be as easy as just saying, like, I'm just going to throw a bunch of, keywords at this listing and then it's just going to work. You have to kind of look at the numbers after a week, after 2 weeks, after a month, and then you have to keep refining that stuff. So I would say, again, to repeat myself here, just so it's clear, I would pick those handful of products that you can focus on and break them up into separate campaigns. So this way here, you're able to really dissect that. You're not going to be able to throw, the same keywords in one campaign at 4 products anyway. So you're going to have to break them down. So I would say to break them down, in small groups. So this way here, you can manage those groups, and you're not trying to just have this one campaign or 2 campaigns that might be targeting 1 or 2 products, inside of each campaign. Again, you can't target 2 different SKUs in that one campaign, at least that I'm aware of. So you will have to set up separate campaigns anyway. So if you have 5 products that you want to target, you're going to have, at the minimum, you're going to have 5 campaigns, each one of those targeting keywords. But you want to take it further than that. We talked about it on episode 119. I did that with Chris Schaefer. We'll link that up in the show notes today too, but you can always head over to theamazingseller.com/119. And we talk about how to really set up those first initial campaigns for one SKU. And you're going to have to multiply this by how many SKUs you want to do this for. And you can see how time consuming that can be. So if you have, let's just say 5 SKUs that you want to use pay-per-click on, you are going to have to set up then 2 or 3 campaigns per SKU. So now we're talking, if you have 3 campaigns, that's, if my math is right, 15 different campaigns that you have to keep an eye on, and it's a process. So that's what I would say to do. Slowly, you're going to start to refine these, and then over time you can start to trim back and then cut out the keywords that aren't performing and focus on the ones that are. So that would be my advice to you or anyone else out there that has hundreds or thousands of SKUs, because you definitely want to make sure that you can keep an eye on the metrics. I mean, the other thing is if you have that many SKUs, your profit margin on each SKU might be small. So if that's the case, pay-per-click might not be something that you want to really do, a lot of on those products. I mean, you need that in your budget in order to be able to, get your money back on those. Now, if you're thinking to yourself that you want to rank these products, and if you can rank them organically to get on page 1, and then you're going to, double or triple your sales, well, then yeah, it's worth it even on a less expensive product that only yields, a smaller profit margin. But you have to know those numbers in order for that to make sense. Well, hey there. Thank you so much for listening to that episode of Ask Scott. Now, that was just a highlight from one of our full episodes where I generally answer 3 to 4 questions on a podcast. If you want to go back and listen to all of the past archives of not just the Ask Scott session, but all of the full episodes where I do interviews with top Amazon sellers, people starting from scratch and building a business, if you want to listen to any of those episodes, head over to theamazingseller.com and you can find all of that over there. You can also find details there on how you can ask your own question and get it aired on an upcoming Ask Scott session and possibly see it here on YouTube or just on the podcast. All right, so definitely head over to theamazingseller.com. There's tons of resources over there for you to be able to build your e-commerce and Amazon business. So definitely go check that out. Now, I just wanted to remind you one thing before I let you go. There's a lot of information out there, and some of it is really, really good. What I want you to remember is you have to not just consume the information, you have to actually apply that information. So take this information that you learned here today and apply it to your business, and this way here you can get results. As my shirt says, I wear it almost daily. Take action. We'll see you guys.